I really, I'm. Oh, it is there. Okay, I'm really done trying to figure this out. This is. Okay, yeah, everybody. It's Mike. I'm going to show you the books, and that's all I'm going to do. If you got any questions, feel free to ask them. I'm just going to zoom through because yeah. Let's start off with DC as usual. Oh, let me say this too. They've decided to drop the final season of Superman and Lois out onto the air. It started yesterday, season 4, episode 1. You should watch it. It's a good show, and it deserves better than what it's been getting. And I said as much on that hell site that used to be known as Twitter. Of course, there was somebody that said that they've been treating it well, and clearly they have no idea of the broadcast history and the shit that's been done to that show. But yeah, the final season started yesterday, so check it out. I can't really hear. I don't know if there's any background music. According to the meter here, there is, but whether that's accurate or not, I don't know. And I'm really, my threshold for patience is non-existent at this point. So it's gonna be what it is. So we'll power through it together. Over in DC, we have Absolute Batman #1, one of the bright spots of DC for this week. Actually, there was quite a few. Of course, it's by Scott Snyder, so he is the one that wrote, which is the unanimous best book from the New 52, and was also Batman. But this is the brand new #1, and this cover here is by Nick Dragotta, or Dragotta, however you say it. Don't know. Don't care. Here is a variant cover. This is Wes Craig, cardstock variant. Then there's this Jim Lee variant. And then there is this Jim Lee foil variant. And then there's also this Nick Dragotta foil variant too. I don't know how many of these, oh, look at that. It moved it over a little bit. How many of these I have, but you're always able to send me a message and let me know if this is a cover you desire. And if I have it, I will put it aside for you. If I don't, I will make every effort to get it for you. Action Comics number 1070 is up next. This is a Clayton Henry cover. Right there. Next, we have Batman number 237. This is a facsimile with Neil Adams art. Neil Adams. I mean, I would love for them to just reprint entire runs or something like this because, yeah, you know. There's also a foil variant for this too. Up next is the better than I expected Batman and Robin number 14. This is by Daniel Warren Johnson, and I forgot who did the art, but it's not Simone DeMeo anymore. Not that I really know I joke about it all the time, but I do like Simone DeMeo. I do. I honestly, truly do. It's just sometimes the art is a lot to pace yourself with. You know, it's very dynamic. It's very action oriented. I've said this many times, so I'm not going to harp on it again. But I think it's Javier Fernandez because I know he did this cover, so I'm pretty sure he's the one that handles the art in here, and it is good. It is good. It's definitely good. And I would strongly suggest picking this up. Batman, Gotham by Gaslight, The Kryptonian Age, number 5. This is the penultimate issue of this series. I thought it was 12 issues, but apparently it's only 6. And this is by Leandro Fernandez. No relation, I'm sure. Here we have DC versus Vampires, World War V, number 3. This is a 12-issue miniseries, according to this. But I could have sworn I read somewhere that it was only going to be like 6 issues. But at this moment, according to this listing, it's 12. So, yes. And the cover here is by Otto Schmidt. And last, believe it or not, last. So that's that makes it what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 books. 6 books this week, DC. Truly? Really? But this is it. This is a Green Lantern Civil Corps special, number 1. And it's a one-shot. It kicks off what's going to be happening in the Green Lantern universe. And I really dug this a lot. Like, the art in here is good, the story was good, and I think it's by Jeremy Adams, if I remember correctly. I'd like to really embiggen this and see, but trust me, whoever did the writing on there, it's really good. It's really good. And I like Green Lantern, but I'm not like a diehard. I mean, Jon Stewart is the greatest Green Lantern that existed, hence the reason he had the starring role in the Justice League animated series. And anybody who says otherwise is just a mark. But this is good. And I would suggest picking this up. And as I said, it's a one-shot, so you can read this. And then if you like the directions that some of the stories go in, then by all means, continue to pick up the Green Lantern books that will be coming out after this. Because, see, they've started, if you look in the upper left-hand corner, you'll see it'll say All In. And that's the initiative they've started. And this seems a little more focused than the past couple of initiatives they've tried. And with the Batman and Robin, and then with this, I'm in. We'll see what happens. Over in the MCU, we have Amazing Spider-Man. This is issue number 59. And Tombstone says something. Let's go crazy, I think it is, or let's get crazy. One of the two. It just made me think of Prince, and that made me smile. One of the few things in the past week that has. And here we have the Perisonodo, What If, which I'm sure they're going to start saying that, oh my goodness, Goofy and Donald and Daisy, they're all in a I don't know what they call it, like, you know, when there's three people involved in the relationship. I mean, the people online are just idiots. But this is an homage to the X-Men cover. Was it 268? I think it was, with Wolverine, Cap, and Black Widow. Up next, we have the Blade, just called Blade, but it is red band, which means it's bagged for your protection because it's explicit, like it says there, explicit content. And this is a 5-issue miniseries. I wanted to make this the thumbnail, but I don't think YouTube would have appreciated it. I mean, even though it's a vampire, so technically it's not a living person, he's undead. But yeah, I don't think they would have liked it. So I went with Batman and... No, actually, no, I went with the Ewoks. I was going to do Batman. I was going to do Absolute Batman because it was a Virgin, which meant that there was no logo and I didn't have to fuss with Photoshop, but I found a logo-less Ewoks thumbnail, so I went with that instead. Here we have Conquest 2099. Now, I thumbed through this. I don't know exactly what's going on in the 2099 universe, but, like, is everybody a vampire? Like, I'm just curious. Well, not curious enough that I need to know the answer, but just, it was weird. It was really weird. Here we have Exceptional X-Men, number 2. Fantastic Four, number 26. Not for nothing, but what's with all the Rob Liefeld-esque covers? Like, is everybody, you just don't want to do backgrounds anymore? Is that what's going on here? I mean, look at this. It's all white. It's all white. I mean, at least Kitty, we can see Kitty's feet, so it's not truly. If it was just that character that's over there with the cut off foot or whatever, then I'd be like, oh yeah, this is truly an homage to Rob Liefeld. But Kitty has feet, so it's not. And then we have this one here, which is just blood and the void. So yeah, way to go, Marvel. I guess it also saves on the ink, the amount of ink that they'd have to use for the cover. Up next, we have Marvel Zombies Dawn of Decay, number 2. This is the halfway point for this 4-issue miniseries, and as you can see there, Thor gets involved. Phoenix, number 4, is up next, right there, and I'm assuming that's someone from the Black Order. I could be wrong. I don't think I've ever read a comic book where the Black Order was featured in. Even when Hickman was in New Avengers and all that, I still didn't read it. I was doing more of the Avengers, more of like action oriented. Like New Avengers at the time was more with the Illuminati and more cerebral stuff like that. Sentinels, number 1. Not sure why. Don't know any of those characters, but it's issue number 1, and it's a 5-issue miniseries. I'm trying to remember There was a series back in the early 2000s, I think it was. I think it was just called Sentinel. And it was a little boy with a sentinel. I like that. I don't remember what happened to him. But I do remember reading it and enjoying it. Here we have Spider-Man, Black Suit and Blood, number 3. This is a 4-issue miniseries, so that makes this the penultimate issue. This one here, I want to say, is by Giuseppe Camuncoli. I could be wrong because it doesn't have the artist listed here. But this one here is by Dustin Nguyen. And this is the B cover. And then there is the C cover by John Boy Mayers. And honestly, you can't go wrong with either of these. Any of these, either. There's more than 2, so it's either. I mean, any. This one, or this one. I would choose between these two if it was me. But I do like John Boy Mayer's stuff. And Dustin's stuff too. So I'd go with those two. Star Wars Ahsoka, number 4, is right here. I don't know how many issues this is, but I'm assuming that maybe there might be 3 more left after this. Ray Winstone's character right there. I forgot what his name was. Balin, I think, something like that. But just disappointed that he passed away and we won't be able to see his character anymore. They're probably going to replace him, and I'm not going to be excited with whoever it is. I'm not a fan of replacing characters like that. Still irked about them switching out Rhodey, even though Don Cheadle, not Don Cheadle, Terrence Howard is still alive. Here we have Star Wars Ewoks. This was the thumbnail too. I gotta say, the art in here was really good. This takes place immediately after the ending of Return of the Jedi. And you get to see all of the cannibalism. No, there's no cannibalism in this. But the art is Laura Braga, and there's someone else. I was just concerned with Laura because I do like her art. And yeah, it's a fun book. 4 issues. Check it out. Ultimates number 5. I like this cover, but there was another cover by In-Hyuk Lee, I think it was. And that one I liked slightly more. But this is issue number 5. Venom number 38 is right here. This is a tie-in to Venom War. And yes, as you can see, Doctor Strange, amongst others, show up. Here we have Venom War Wolverine issue number 2 of this 3-issue miniseries. This cover's okay. Ken Lashley, I believe it is. But we have this Sandoval cover. The only reason I put this on there is because you can see Rogue right there in the bottom right-hand corner. That was it. The only reason. I'm not necessarily a fan of Sandoval's artwork. He did, I think, some Guardians of the Galaxy stuff. I'm like, same here. But it's Rogue. See Rogue. That's all. And last but not least, I have this X-Force cover for you. This is issue number 4. And as you can see, Man-Thing shows up. So it's always a good time. I would really, if DC and Marvel can get their shit together, I would really love to see a Man-Thing, Swamp Thing team up. Just a book. I want to see a book. I want to see like a 12-issue miniseries. And I want to see it drawn by someone who really can draw. And someone who can really write. Like with Scott Snyder, what he did with Animal Man and Swamp Thing back in the New 52. I like that a lot. And get something like that going between Man-Thing and Swamp Thing. Definitely. Over in the independent world, we have D is for Dalmatians. For all you kids out there and Disney fans. This is a, I want to say, kind of like a trade paperback sort of thingy. Graphic novel, I guess, if you want to be pretentious about it. Graphic novel. That one there. And I don't know. Oh, Paper Cut apparently. I think that's an arm of Disney or Marvel or whatever. But yeah. Here we have Geiger, issue number 7. This is a Gary Frank cover with a very creepy looking zebra. And then we have this B cover. I believe this one is by Paul Pelletier. And then I think I might have put the C cover in here. No, I didn't. There was a C cover though, but I didn't get it. But I just got the Pelletier and the Gary Frank cover. Here we have Godzilla. Actually, you know what? I do have the listings here. Godzilla, yes. Here There Be Dragons 2, Sons of Giants, number 4. Unfortunately, it doesn't tell me who did the cover, but at least you can see it. And there's cover B. Gru, Minstrel Melodies, number 2. As I said, as long as Sergio, knock on wood, still alive and drawing, I will always order his book. Always. If you're not familiar with Gru, do yourself a favor and seek out some of those old Marvel books from the 80s that he did. Or you can buy any issue of Mad Magazine, and you'll see his work in the margins. Here we have Gunslinger Spawn, issue number 36. This one is by Paul Renault. And then we have this one here by Jonathan Glapion. I don't know how you say his name, but I thought this was a cool cover. Especially with the arrows, the way the arrows were all pin-cushioned into his body. Speaking of Mad Magazine, here we have issue number 40. This is the one that came out this week. The back cover is funny. I think it says, "Don't vote for Alfred E. Newman." There's a lot of other fools you could vote for or something like that. But yeah, I do like this cover. And I'm glad they actually showed us the cover. Here we have Monster High. This is the Halloween special, issue number 1. And it's by someone whose last name is Lowenthal. Oops, wrong way, sorry. And then here we have cover B by Frank, Franq. Here we have The New Adventures of Turning Red. I still have not seen this Pixar movie, and apparently this is volume 2, and they refer to this as a trade paperback, so we'll call it a trade paperback. But this is volume 2, and I have it in stock. Precious Metal, number 5, the penultimate series of this Ian Bertram miniseries. That was connected to the, as it says on the bottom there, From the World of Little Bird. Here we have Scarlet, issue number 5. This is the final issue of this 5-issue miniseries. Marco Ferrari did this cover here. And Sia Oyam did this one. Honestly, I like them both. I don't know which one I would... If I had to pick one, I really don't know. I do like this one, but I like this one too. Storm Shadow's on there. I'd buy them both. Sesame Street number 2, cover A. Apparently this is going to be like a 4-issue miniseries or a 5-issue miniseries, and I don't know why. This should be an ongoing series. There should be a comic book out there for children. And why not Sesame Street? Why not Sesame Street? This cover here is by Beth Hughes. This cover here is by Aaron Hunting. And I can't tell you if there's a logo on this one or not. But let's just assume that there isn't. But you know what we can also, not assume, but we can also be grateful for? And there's also this one here. This is what they call the coloring book variant. So essentially what you see here is what the cover is. And that way your son or daughter can color it themselves. These are the things that they should be doing to cultivate the next generation. But what we can appreciate about these 3 covers is that nowhere on here is Elmo. Right there alone. That fact alone makes these comic books desirable. And last but not least... Oh, wait, nope. Sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. I forgot there were more S's. Wow, okay. There is this Sonic the Hedgehog annual for 2024. This is cover A by Lawrence. And then there's this one, cover B, by Fordrain. Fordrain? Fourdraine. I like the laziness of this one here. And by laziness, you just see Sonic sleeping on the branch there. But this one's the more traditionally, animated one. So I kind of like to dig this one a little more. And Tails is there too. So then we have Scorched, or they're calling it Spawn Scorched, even though nowhere on the cover does it say Spawn. But this is issue number 34. Thaddeus Robeck did this cover here. And then there's this Paul Renault variant right there. Star Wars High Republic Adventures Echoes of Fear #2 is right here. Now, normally I put all the Star Wars stuff together, even though technically Dark Horse is doing this, but it's Marvel. Marvel has the, but yeah, so. But whatever. This is Echoes of Fear, issue #2. And then we have this one here, which is Star Wars High Republic Adventures Phase 3, Dispatches from the Occlusion Zone. This is issue #1. Toxic Avenger #1, right here, for Fred Harper. I like the art in here. It's the only reason I ordered it. I mean, and for those of you that are Toxic Avenger fans, Trauma. Hey, what's up, Hosea? Let's see. Hey, Mike, sorry I'm late. I see Scott Snyder is really pushing Absolute Batman. Are you excited? Well, it was a good issue. Why not? Yes, I'm glad. You know what? Let him push it. Since you're typing it, I can't see the intent behind there, but it's a good thing when the creator is involved in the promotion of the content that they've created. I like that. More people should do that. Why is James Gunn the only one that's out there pimping comic books? I'm sure there's other creators out there. I don't follow all of them. Actually, I do follow all of them, but I don't pay attention to social media that much. But I want them to do that. That's what they should do. I mean, I'm the one that's on here. I'm doing a stream where, 30 minutes into it? 24 minutes into it now, where I'm talking about all this stuff. Do you know why I'm doing this? I'm doing this because I ordered all of this stuff. I own this stuff. This stuff is in my store. And if I don't sell it to customers, if customers don't know, there's a Toxic Avenger comic book out, I remember that from back in the day, let me try it out, then they're not going to know. But yes, I absolutely 110% want the creator pimping their stuff. Let them. But what I don't want them to do is I don't want them to compare it to anything like, the season finale of Lost or anything like that. Just talk about your book. That's what you got to do. Talk about your book. Talk about how awesome it is. Talk about the art. Talk about the coloring. Talk about the lettering. Talk about the story. Talk about the variants. Hell yeah, dude. Absolutely. So, and yes, the book is good. So why not push something? I mean, why is the onus on store owners? Why do I mean, yes, I want to sell it and I have to sell it because I bought it. But, this isn't like I'm not like Barnes and Noble where I can just return this shit. Everything that I bought, I own. So when you walk into a Barnes and Noble and you see shelves and shelves filled with manga, like, if they don't sell that, they can send that shit back. Nothing, there's no, they have no skin in the game whatsoever. And you know what? I kind of do like comic books. I want comic books to be around for a long time. And it shouldn't fall to me. Like, I remember there was one time, and I'll never forget this. Dan DiDio said, he sees us as soldiers on the front line. And it's like, well, then you guys need to stop treating us like veterans, because veterans in America get treated very shittily. So I guess that tracks with treating us, the way we're on the front line and stuff like that, Like, we shouldn't be the only ones doing this, But, what do I know? What do I know? I'm not the one that's, spending hours on social media. What's up, Aglax? What's up? I'll be picking up Sonic and continue to buy all the High Republic stuff. Very good, man. Very good. I hope you enjoy it too, because Sonic is always, and I'm concerned about Sonic though, to be honest with you, because DC is going to be doing something with Sonic, I believe, at the end of the year or at the beginning of next year. So I don't know if IDW has lost the license or what's going on, because IDW is hanging on by a thread. Here's something else, like IDW, dude. IDW, hold on, let me set this. Hold on. Coming up, when IDW started, they had some of the craziest crossovers ever in the history of comic books. And I'm not, this isn't hyperbole. I'm not being hyperbolic here. Trust me. The very last one they did, okay, because IDW, to me, and I would always say this to customers, would be like the Switzerland of comic books. Like they would do stuff, they would reprint Marvel stuff, they would reprint DC stuff. It didn't matter. Like they would do whatever. And they would also have licensed stuff. And they would have, a couple things that were original. But they would have licenses like, for Transformers, G.I. Joe, Ghostbusters, The Crow, Star Trek, all this stuff. And once a year, I don't know what kind of drugs they were doing, but they would all get together and they would mash all of these things together. And some of it is the greatest comic books I have ever read, the greatest stories I have ever read. And now that I want to see exactly, because I want to be, I can tell you what the very last one was. The very last one, it was X-Files, because they had X-Files at the time. And yeah, see, they don't do all of them. Damn it. I'm trying to look up the list of crossovers because I want to make sure all the books are represented, and they don't have them all here. But like, it was X-Files. X-Files was the main book, and they had an X-Files Ghostbusters, they had an X-Files Transformers, they had an X-Files The Crow. Like, they would team these things up, and it made sense because it was like, if I remember correctly, it was lone gunmen, and they were basically like investigating, because I think at that time, I think this was before, well, I don't want to spoil X-Files for anybody, but yeah, so the lone gunmen were the ones that were investigating like urban myths and urban legends and stuff like that. And of course, obviously, like the Turtles, Transformers and all that, they were The Crow. It was really good. There was one year though they did, here's one. I think Infestation was the first one they did, and this was back in 2011. And it crossed over. Okay, here it crossed over with Star Trek, Transformers, G.I. Joe, Ghostbusters, Dungeons and Dragons, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, 30 Days of Night, and something called Pocket God, which I'm not familiar with. But that's just batshit crazy, okay? And then they had Infestation 2, and that was in 2012. And if I remember correctly, Infestation 1 was more like a zombie type thing, and Infestation 2 was more like a Cthulhu type thing. But it was incredible. They were incredible. And I'm trying to let me see. I'm trying to find more. I want to see the other ones, because there was they don't have IDW here. Damn it. There was one that they did with Mars Attacks, and it was phenomenal. And they don't have, damn it. See, they also, they also did one that was called Super Secret Crisis Wars. Now, this is a crossover that was written by Louise Simonson. So right there, it's going to be good. But it crossed over Samurai Jack, Ed, Edd and Eddy, for those of you guys that came up with Nickelodeon cartoons, Dexter Laboratory, Powerpuff Girls, Ben 10, Johnny Bravo, The Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy, Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends, Cow and Chicken, and codename Kids Next Door. Like, that was awesome. So people that are taking, I don't exactly know what's going on with IDW, and I hope they're able to get out of whatever hole they're in. But you really shouldn't be celebrating the fact that they're suffering like this. I mean, it's just yeah. I'm trying to find out. I thought I had the yeah. See, here they only have Mars Attacks, but see, it was more than just Mars Attacks or Real Ghostbusters. But there was one, that's because this is a Ghostbusters wiki, okay. Let me see, hold on. I'm desperately trying to find it out. Mars Attacks, Transformers. See, damn it. They don't have them all here. Mars Attacks Judge Dredd, Mars Attacks. Okay, the best one they did though. This is the best one, and if I had it on the shelf, I wish I still had it, but unfortunately I sold it. But it was Mars Attacks Popeye. That is hands down one of the greatest comic books I've ever read. Like, it was just incredible, incredible. And I wouldn't be like, celebrating their demise or whatever, toxic like High Republic fans. I don't know about that. Hosea said, I'm all for Snyder pushing. Let's go. Absolutely, dude. Absolutely. Yeah. He does this thing. He's very, if it's not T'Challa related, he doesn't care about it. He wants it to burn. Oh, that's interesting, Sonic. Yeah, it is. It's, it was, I think it was a 5-issue miniseries maybe they were talking about. I saw they did like a 3-minute video, 4-minute video or whatever with some dude from Sonic and then some chick from DC or representing DC or something. But yeah, it's on YouTube somewhere. That book has a surprisingly long run and it's been a lot of fun, but I can see them wanting to make something else in the movie universe maybe. I honestly don't know. If I remember, wait, hold on. If I remember correctly, they were, I don't know if they're going to be amalgaming them, but they had like Sonic as the Flash, Tails as Green Lantern or something like that. Like, check it out. Check it out, Aglax, because it's there. But yeah, IDW Star Trek has been so good for a long time. Well, I'm glad you think so. I tried getting some of it, and unfortunately it didn't. I think there's like 3 or 4 series that are going on right now, and they did reboot, or they tried refreshing it or something like that, and I don't know exactly what it is. I don't know if it's because older Star Trek fans aren't necessarily buying the comics like they did when DC was putting them out back in the 80s, early 90s. But yeah, I definitely want IDW to continue, and it would be nice to see them get back on top. Here we go. Sorry about that little tangent there, but last but not least, this is the last. Transformers issue number 13, and this cover here is by Daniel Warren Johnson and Mike Spicer, and it looks like Daniel Warren Johnson is handling the writing duty still, thankfully. And Jason Howard is doing the art on this particular issue, with Mike Spicer doing the inking duties. And then we have this awesome cover B by Jorge Corona and Mike Spicer. Look at that, man. That must have taken Jorge, I don't know how long to do this. Technically, there's an image on here. I do know what the image is, and if you've gone to Bleeding Cool or elsewhere, I'm sure it's been spoiled now. But yeah, it was a spoiler. Oh, crap. You know what I forgot to do? I forgot to do what I normally do. So since there aren't too many covers for stuff this week, I'm just going to grab all of them because I don't have time to get it all. But yes, Transformers also, this is supposedly what's happening in this issue here, is going to be setting up some long-range plans that they have for, you know what, I'm not going to highlight that one. Oops. I'm not going to highlight this one. I want all the other ones, but not that one. Okay. It's supposed to be highlighting what's going to be happening on the Energon universe in the months to come. Apparently this was on a call to retailers, one that I was not privy to. Because, see, most times when they schedule these calls, usually it's when I'm open. It's West Coast time. And usually when they have them is when I'm open. I've only done one, and that was the Godzilla Kong versus Justice League one. And yeah, nothing against them. I mean, I would like to participate, but in the Zoom calls, but it just doesn't happen. So that's it. That's all the books for this week, believe it or not. Thank you guys for watching. Let's see. Whoops. Daniel Warren Johnson has been killing it. I'm following. Dude, honestly, I wish he would not. He's leaving. I think it's after the next arc. He's taking a break. I hope it's just a break. I want him to come back, and I want him to draw it again. But yeah, I'm disappointed about that. But what's on the cover, though? Chill, honestly, I think there might be robots on the cover. I could be wrong. I think they're robots that can actually transform into things. So you might want to check it out. Go to your local comic book store. I'm sure they can tell you. But I'm almost positive that's what's on the cover. And, there was something that you put in the chat, Aglax. I'm not going to highlight it just in case. But you are very welcome. Thanks for watching. And if you watch live, I do appreciate you spending some time. Yeah, it's been a really rough week and a half. So hope this week's better. Hope you guys have a great new comic book day. Thanks for watching. And they are... I think most of the robots are in disguise. I think it's in the song there, so you might want to just check that out. But these are the ways you can get in touch with me if you've seen anything. If you're not local, if you're local, by all means, go here, go to direct.me/rocomics. That's all the links to every deplorable form of social media that I'm forced to participate in. Click one button. All you got to do is type that link right there, and then there's buttons for you to click. You don't even have to type it in. That's all you got to do. And then it can connect you. There's even a button on the top there that you can call the store. But if you've seen anything and you are local, by all means, drop me a line. Let me know if you want something that you've seen, and I will put it aside for you if I still have it. I've been getting... Usually it kicks in around Mondays when people start messaging me, letting me know what they want for the week. If you are not local, I do ship books to anywhere in the continental United States and overseas. I still think the furthest I've sent something is Australia. Although Australia, it was via California, so maybe that doesn't technically count. Although, did I? I think I sent something to Paul. No, I think we had to send it through to Australia, and then I don't remember. But Australia, it was the destination. So, but yeah. And thanks, man. Appreciate it. It is what it is, though, right? Everybody's goes through stuff. Can't wait for more thoughts on the absolute DC universe. Hey, I mean, it's a good start. You lead off with your best, and Scott Snyder is the best that they've got. So hopefully it continues. Honestly, I don't exactly know if it's going to be, if they're going to expand other than 3 issues, because right now it's just absolute Batman, absolute Superman, and absolute Wonder Woman. And I don't know if they're going to branch out beyond those 3, but who knows? Anything's possible. As long as you have the talent, that's all you really need. And I really wish all of these comic book companies would get their acts together and release the figures. That's what I want. I want them to release the figures. I want figures. I want to be able to go to a website and see how many books were sold for that month for each individual title, because that would, I think that would also, 1, help with the promotion of the books, and 2, it would actually shut some of these people up with their narratives. Okay? And there's a lot of narratives out there that really need to be shut up. Absolute Flash, you sure about that? Because I've only heard of the 3. I mean, it is possible. But, I mean, it would make sense if they did absolutes for all of the Justice League members, but could be wrong. It might be a rumor. Could be. I have not heard anything, but then again, I don't really keep my ear to the ground that much. I mean, as much as I should. And I need to get better with that. I just don't like being spoiled. Like, it makes no sense, and I know I'm a store owner, and I would never read previews, like the catalog when I would get it. I would never read it because I didn't want to be spoiled with things that were going to be coming out. And I know that's stupid because I got to order that shit. But I don't want to know what's going to happen. I want to be surprised when I pick up the issue. And, you know, just like everybody else, I hate spoilers. I hate when people spoil things. Like, it just irks me, man. It irks me. But, yeah. I used to do a stream that had the FOC stuff. I used to do a stream where I would talk about the listings, you know, whenever they would drop the listings for Marvel and or DC. Maybe I'll go back and do those. I don't know. But We'll see. Aglax says, I think giving us clear numbers will make more sport out of out of comic writing, and it should be something people are talking shit about because of how consistent it is. Drives excitement, in my opinion. Sport out of comic writing, and it should be something people are talking shit about because of how well, that's what I'm saying. Like, if a book is good and people are on here saying that it's shit, then I want them, I want those narratives destroyed. You know, whatever agenda you might have, that person with the narrative might have, I want that to be destroyed. And then if the book doesn't sell, then I want Marvel and or DC or IDW to be held accountable. Like, for instance, and I say this because it's a character that doesn't interest me at all. Well, I mean, no, she did at one time when she was at the X-Men. But Betsy Braddock, she had Excalibur. Then she had 2 additional series after that. And I can tell you from a store standpoint, it didn't sell. Now, if the first miniseries after Excalibur that came out, the sales were barely 10,000, like, why would you do another series if it wasn't selling? Like, you know, these are the things that I want to be held accountable for, because I know, as a store owner, I know that when the second miniseries came out, not after, there was Excalibur, then there was the one that came after Excalibur, and then there was the one that came after Excalibur. So if miniseries number 1 didn't sell, when they announced miniseries number 2, I know that it isn't going to sell much, especially if it's the same creative team. Like, maybe if they got somebody like Frank Cho drawing and I don't know, Jonathan Hickman or Jason Aaron or, you know, well, Jeff Loeb, even though I'm not a fan of Jeff Loeb's recent output, but although Last Halloween was whatchamacallit, was pretty good. I knew that Betsy Braddock was coming when you said for hey man, you know, I'll see how much it costs to get something sent to little old New Zealand Mike. Hosea, say the word, man. I got you. And also the cheapest way possible. If there's a way, if I have to set up an eBay account so we can go do it through eBay and eBay will be cheaper or whatever to get it to you, then that's the way I want to do it. Like, it's ridiculous sometimes the amount. I mean, Paul ordered a lot of stuff. His box was heavy, so I could understand why it was that much. And of course, I mean, you're sending it to a colony where everything can kill you. So, you know, yes, I the postal workers that deliver the mail, where there can be like wild rabid kangaroos or spiders out there, like, they're risking their lives. So, you know, I think they should be compensated for that. But, you know, yeah, I just I don't know, man. You know, if there was teleporters, you know, it would be so nice. You know, like Star Trek. You know, just put it in there and then teleport it over to New Zealand. But yeah. That was so much a better world. Honestly, I think X-Men Editorial wanted all that story to come out because it cleaned up so much X-Men history. Okay, well, see, from a story standpoint, I don't know that, because I like, even honestly, I liked Captain Britain the best when he was in Excalibur, and it was Brian. I liked Betsy when she was in the X-Men, when she was Psylocke, and she had the brooch, how do you say it? Brooch, the little thingy on her. She had like a thing around her neck, and that's when that was when I liked her. So I wasn't really too keen on her being Captain Britain or anything like that. But if it had its fans, and I'm sure every book has its fans, you know, you got to show up. And if for some reason, like, at the very least, and this is the thing, this is one of the things that Marvel did that annoyed me too. Back in the day, like in the, I want to say 2010, 2011, somewhere around there, 2012, the early 2010s, they had a miniseries that was, it was tied into Captain America. He wasn't in the book, but I think, and I don't think the Howling Commandos were either, but it took place in that World War II era type thing. and I believe it was a 6-issue miniseries. It was solicited for 6 issues. They only put out 4 issues. They never finished the miniseries. Because I know there's people out there that like waiting for the trades. And waiting for the trades is the worst thing that you can do, because unless it's an X book or a Bat book or a Spider book, you're not guaranteed a trade. And this book, which was like, I want to say, it wasn't All-Star Squadron, because I know that's DC, but it was something like that. And they never finished it. So, you know. But, yeah, I just, Betsy, I like Betsy as Psylocke and Brian as Captain Britain. I didn't even like their brother. I can't even remember what his name was. It's escaping me. But I know he had like, he was almost like Mick Foley. He had, not Mick Foley, Captain Lou Albano. He had like rubber bands on his face and stuff like that. I can't even remember what his name was. But I know he had like the power to like, with other dimensions, and he was very powerful. Australia is Jurassic Park, but bugs. Yeah. Paul from the colony. What would Sherry call him? No, not Paul from Australia. Imagine pitching. I want to explain Psylocke and the Merlin stuff. How brave, dude. That's a lot of like yeah. I would want someone like, not for nothing, and I keep bringing them up, but like, and I say this, and I don't mean this as a slight, because people that are on the spectrum, like it isn't an insult. It's not. But Jonathan Hickman, his attention to detail is very, like, he goes, no pun intended, he goes all in when he's world building and stuff like that. And I want all of the creators to have that attention to detail. Like, if you're going to do something like the Legion of Superheroes, or you're going to do something like Betsy Braddock and the Knights and all that other stuff, like, you gotta do a deep dive, and then you gotta take all of that stuff and you gotta make it palatable for people who might not know. Because in addition to the people like Aglax who want who are fans of Psylocke, or the Captain Britain stuff, the Captain Britain Corps, whatever there is, you got to make that palatable for people that aren't new customers. You want to get new customers in who can pick that book up and know all the history that, you know, a longtime fan might know. You know what I mean? And there's not a lot of people that can do that. And like, that's why I say, like, you know, with the first Thor movie, and Jesus Christ, now that I mentioned his name escaped me, who directed it. The director of the first Thor movie did an excellent job, because he had to get the comic book stuff, he had to get the Norse mythology stuff, he had to make it palatable for people that didn't know Thor or the Norse mythology or any of that stuff. And he had to have, just so you can walk in and you can, oh yeah, I'm going to go see Thor, and then I'm going to know everything about, you know, everything that there is to know about it. And he did it. And I can't remember, I'm blanking on his name, but I do remember he was married to Emma Thompson at one time. I don't know, maybe they still might be, but whoever directed it, he did a great job. Aglax said, I just got Sherry in Fortnite. Me too. I just got to get her with the white outfit. I really like that. That skin was a lot better. Union Jack. No, not Union Jack. Jamie Braddock. Jamie. That was his name. Yes, Jamie. And did God of War comics do well? No. Lots of story potential for more, maybe. Well, I believe they are doing more God of War comics. Oh, wait. No, I'm sorry. I'm getting confused with Assassin's Creed. They've done God of War. They've done Assassin's Creed. And usually it's like fringy. Like, it's not necessarily like a major comic book company. I think Titan was the one that did God of War last, maybe. And the stuff that they're doing with Conan, apparently they're doing good stuff. So, you know, unfortunately, Random House or Lunar do not carry Titan comics. What's up, Basco? Chill. So, yeah. Yeah, that's about it. I am now, I'm almost near an hour. So I'm going to go. But I thank you guys for the conversation. Truly. It's good to have a comic book conversation with people who appreciate comic books and not just false narratives or even narratives. In the meantime, I hope you guys have had a great. Did I ever finish saying about direct.me/roguecomics? Just that's how you can get in touch with me. I might do another stream, maybe a Fortnite stream tonight. Maybe we'll see what happens. I don't know. But thanks for watching. Thanks for hanging out live. Hosea, Basco, maybe Chill, maybe Aglax. Was there anybody else in there? I think there was somebody else. Somebody else, maybe? No, there wasn't. Okay, yes. Thanks, guys, for watching. If you're watching on the replay, appreciate you. 8 likes. Holy shit. That's a lot. Thank you. Whoever hit the like button, thank you. I don't have an ego. I don't it doesn't. I appreciate it because apparently it helps with the algorithm. In the meantime, have a great new comic book day. And if you want, you can put in the comments what you guys got. Let me know if I was wrong about anything or if I was right about things, which I'll probably be seeing a lot more right than wrong. But in the meantime, have a great new comic book day, guys. Take care.